foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Kodash. Double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone. That time is truth. Another week in and week out, doing the work, prophesying. The prophecies are about to come, and ultimately doing as Yahweh Shai commanded, coming out into the highways and the hedges, and bringing out the word. So, we're going to start with Jeremiah 44. Start at that.
Got here Jeremiah 44 and 15. Then all men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods, and all the women that stood by, the great multitude, even all the people that dwell in the land of Egypt and Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth, to burn incense unto the Queen of heaven, and to pour our drink offerings unto her, as we have done. We and our fathers, our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil.
Right. And this scripture pretty much is going into how Jeremiah was rebuking the Israelites because our people were worshiping the Queen of Heaven, which the Queen of Heaven just goes into worshiping some woman, right? A made up God that was a woman. And pretty much what the Israelites told Jeremiah, they pretty much said in today's slang, we ain't gonna do nothing you told us to do. We're gonna do what we wanna do, right? And we're gonna worship our Queen of Heaven because ever since we stopped worshiping her, it says that we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by famine. Right? So they're like, hey, we ain't getting no benefit by worshiping Yahweh. You know, we gonna worship Queen of Heaven and we gonna be straight. And that same mentality is the mentality our people have today. It's the craziest thing that this scripture, I was given an account yesterday how this local taco shop here, pretty much they always be booming. And I was told that pretty much the reason that they're always booming is because they go and do witchcraft on the side, right? Worshiping is called the Saint Juditas, which like all that Judas thing, or not Saint Judas, Saint Jude,
Yeah.
all that goes back to the Roman Catholic Church, and the majority of that shit is all made up. Like they be talking about saint this and saint that, but when you go into the Bible, you never see those names mentioned at all. Like it's completely made up. And but pretty much like this taco shop, you know, every single year they go and worship that saint, you know, supposed saint, and give offerings, you know, all types of things. And and the whole reason why is so that they can prosper. And that's a perfect example of what we just read. Right? Worshiping other gods to prosper in this world. Which ultimately it does work. Right? There's a reason why Yahweh Shai was talking about, or not Yahweh Shai, but Yahweh told Moses to tell his people that they don't follow after familiar spirits. You know, don't worship other gods. Don't do witchcraft. The reason he said all that is because that stuff actually works. You know,
The left hand side.
that's the left hand side. So, but at the end of the day, you know, the right hand side is controlling the left hand side. So it's better to, you know, deal with the big boss. But there's actually scripture. I think it's Matthew 19. I'm just going off the top. It's the account of Satan, uh, pretty much tempting Yahweh Shai. Search up like mountain, exceeding high mountain. It'll pop up. See if I can find it. It's after he got like after he fasted for 40 days.
Yeah, got it. Matthew 4.
Yeah.
should I just read the whole thing?
Yeah, just go into how what happened after he fasted. Like Satan came.
This is Matthew 4 and 2. That when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of Yahweh, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh. Then the devil taketh him up to the holy city, and settled him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saying unto him, if thou be the Son of Yahweh, cast thy down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hand they shall bear thee up, lest any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Yahweh Shai said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power. Again, the devil taking him up onto an exceeding high mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdom of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Yahweh Shai unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve.
And that right there was showing you that Satan, he was showing Yahweh Shai, he showed him all the kingdoms of the world. So that means he showed them America, he showed them, well, they're already in Rome at that time. But he showed them everything that was going to come in the future. And he told them, hey, everything, I'll give you all this if you just bow down and come to me. Which that right there shows that Satan has control over the material world, the left-hand side. So that's why when you hear all these stories about, rappers and celebrities, people, blowing up, it's because they're doing the left-hand side.
Or in this case, with the taco joint.
Yeah, the taco joint. Right? They be selling 4 tacos for $14.
That expensive.
Yeah, and they're not even that good. So I always thought, like, how the hell are they still in business? But it turns out, they're worshiping a false god. And going back to that point of the celebrities, right? That's why you always see some celebrity, wearing a dress. All these basketball players wearing dresses.
But they'll be wearing like some straight, like even like the women, just some like weird ass dresses. It'll be like some, like I seen Lady Gaga one time wearing a dress made out of meat, like all like meat and stuff.
And this guy Kevin Hart, they be crossing. The reason they make them do that is because there's a commandment that says that a man is not supposed to wear what the woman wears, and a woman is not supposed to wear what pertains to the man. So that's dumb. That's like public humiliation. Like showing like, nah, this guy, like, he belongs to me.
Showing them that like they'll do anything pretty much for that thing.
But all these people sell out in order to get those millions. Like, I always wonder, how people talk about, one-hit wonders. What happened to those people? Well, the one-hit wonders are people that, made it big off their first song, but they didn't sell out. And they ultimately weren't publicized. They weren't pushed mainstream. So that's why you got, so many one-hit wonders. Because they didn't sell out. In order to be, a top 10 on every single radio station in the world, all year long, you have to sell out in order to get that publicity. And guess who you're selling out to? The little small hands. Because they're the ones that own all the social media. And that's, there's a saying by, I forgot the man, but he was going into how, you want to know who controls or who rules, or you want to know who's in power? Look at the people that you can't talk about.
Yeah.
Right? And they are those people.
You can't say anything about them without being labeled Zionist or
anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic.
Yeah. And that whole thing about anti-Semitic makes no sense because when you go into, it's not even Sem, it's Shem. And
anti-Shemitic.
Yeah, and it's funny they be calling the Palestinians anti-Shemitic, but when you look at who those people are, they actually go back to Shem. So how can you be anti-Shemitic if you are Shemitic? And I remember Kanye said that in one of the, he was being interviewed.
That's why he hates Jew people too.
Yeah. He's like, how can I be anti-Shem? I am Shem. And that's why he got canceled, because he brought up the facts about who those people are. It's ultimately prophecy. That's 2 Thessalonians 2. believe it's either Second Thessalonians chapter 2 or First Thessalonians chapter 2. Yeah, Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3.
Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there shall come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Right, and that man of sin is going into these Edomites. Right, this was a future prophecy that was written that Paul wrote, which that didn't happen. Right, it says that hey, the end was not gonna come until that man of sin be revealed. Right, that's happening today. Right, these Edomites, they can't do anything anymore to hide who they are. Right, that's why hey, the scriptures talk about how their own tongue shall fall upon themselves. There's a book called Who is Esau Edom? Right, and who is it wrote by? Edomite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is Esau Edom? And it clearly shows, he breaks down about how hey, these people go back, to the Edomites.
I would say that's how you know that these times are coming, like closer. The time's coming closer, because before all this, you never see any of that. You never see their own people talking.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see anything about the small hats, but now all over social media, you see people making videos about them, calling them out, knowing that they're the ones in control, running this place. If you would have told someone that maybe 5 years ago, maybe even like 3 years ago, they would have called you crazy for sure.
Yeah.
But now it's like kind of everybody knows this. Open knowledge.
Yeah, and that's just as it says in Daniel that in the last days many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Right, and we're in that time that look at a chart of pretty much technological innovation in the last 100 years. It's been like a complete, shoot up. You have like we went from like horses to this and that, and all of a sudden, you got cars that go 300 miles an hour. That's that knowledge being increased. That's a sign of the end. And with that, comes all the knowledge of the scriptures. Now, hey, here it is. You got men worldwide able to break down the prophecies of the Bible. Right, there was a point in time where nobody knew what the beast in Revelation was talking about. That was complete. Just people were lost. Hey, but nowadays, when you talk about the chip, majority of Christians know that the chip is going into, or the mark is going into the chip, right? So it's common knowledge. Now, we still on Matthew 24. We read like 3 more scriptures down from there. Not Matthew 24. Second Thessalonians chapter 2.
Who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Yahweh, or that is worship, so that he, as Yahweh sitteth in the temple of, how would you say that?
They say God and Father.
He who exposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he, as God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God.
Right, and that goes into how they have that God complex. That's the whole thing of, artificial intelligence. The whole thing of artificial intelligence, one of their plans is that they want to upload their consciousness onto the web, right? And in doing so, that means they'd never die. That's the real, one of the purposes why they want artificial intelligence. Another reason is they want a artificial intelligence to, find a way to make them immortal, right? Since artificial intelligence is pretty much another mind. As they say, smarter than we are. This guy, Brian Johnson, another Edom, doing the same thing, trying to be like God, trying to escape death. And he's taking all types of pills. He takes like 50 pills a day, all types of weird procedures. He literally puts his own son's blood in himself, his own plasma, in order to try to be healthier.
They do it with their grandpa too.
Yeah.
It's like a trio, a trifecta.
And that's like a complete abomination. You're not even supposed to touch someone's blood like that.
Yeah.
So when you look at what they're doing, it's obvious that they're the wicked. And keep reading a little bit more.
Remember,
and then that wicked shall be revealed. What does it? Read that one again.
let no man deceive you by any means, For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of son be revealed, the son of perdition,
Keep going.
who expose and exalt himself above all that is called God, for that is worship, so that he as a God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know that what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who hath not let it will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Right, and that right there shows you one thing. That right there, off just these couple of verses, you can get a million conclusions, because it shows that that man of sin, that wicked that is talking about, is going to be ruling when Yahweh Shai comes back. Who are the ones ruling right now? The Edomites, the so-called white man.
They're on top
So,
of the food chain per se.
so who does it have to be talking about? Using some normal logic, who can that be? Who can that be talking about? The Arab man is ruling the world. The Chinese ain't. Who's on the face of the dollar? Who's controlling all the financial institutions? So-called Jewish, which the Edomites. So when Yahweh Shai comes back, that's who he's taking down, and they're going to be taken down and forever destroyed. That's one thing that these Edomites they hate hearing that. The one thing about all these Jakes, these so-called Christians is that, hey, as soon as we tell them, we could be telling them they're Israelites, they're gonna be in the kingdom, but as soon as we tell them Esau gonna be destroyed, all of a sudden now they got a problem. Literally, we're telling them you're gonna be the future powers, the gods, but as soon as they tell them, oh, the man that's been oppressing you, hey, the Lord's gonna take him down for you, justice. All of a sudden now there's a problem.
It's like, it should be like good news.
Yeah.
It is good news for them.
It is good news. I'm pretty sure there's another scripture in Daniel 5. Daniel chapter 5. Read Daniel chapter 5 and verse 17, if I remember correctly. No, Daniel chapter 5. Maybe it's 4. Maybe search your policy. Yeah. Search your policy.
Daniel 8:25.
Yeah, 8 and 25.
Daniel 8:25. And through his policy also he shall cause prosper in his hand. He shall magnify himself.
No, start at 23. Yeah.
8 and 20. Daniel 8:23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, the king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up.
Right. When you go into that last kingdom is going into this kingdom. It's talking about the last kingdom, the fourth beast, Rome, but the latter end of Rome is here in America. And when you go to Isaiah chapter 14, and you go into the scriptures talking about Babylon, in Isaiah, no, chapter 13, also talking about Babylon, it says, search up also, we'll go back to it, search up that same thing, fierce ruler. I think it's in Isaiah 13. Find it? Daniel, we read that it says that, and in the latter time of the king, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sadness shall stand up. Right, and when you read that, yeah.
Isaiah 19 and 4, and the Egyptians will I give over unto the land of a cruel Lord, and the fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts.
Right, and when it's talking about Egypt there, it's talking about America. Right, Revelation 11, verse 8 talks about how that great city, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Right, and the key point I want to bring out is both scriptures here talk about a fierce king, a fierce ruler, which through this we believe that to be DJ Trump. Looking at all the presidents and what they've done, DJ Trump is the only one that really stands on what he's gonna say, and he's like the real wild card, in this American history.
He pretty much like fits the mold.
Yeah, he fits the mold of that fierce king. So through prophecy, we believe him to be that guy, to really bring these prophecies to pass. But regardless, keep reading from there. Yeah.
And his power shall be mighty, but not his power by his own. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper in practice, shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
Right, and that's something that these rulers don't remember, is that it says that he was going to have mighty power, but not by his own power. Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua was the one giving him. Right, even these Edomites' favorite ruler, Alexander the Great, he realized that. When you go into the writings of Flavius Josephus, called the Antiquities of the Jews, Josephus wrote about how even Alexander the Great came down, and worshipped Yahweh because he had a dream that Yahweh was the one that gave him the power. So that's something these Trump, Saint Jinping, all these rulers don't remember, is that the Lord is the one that's got them ruling right now, and it's for a little season. You could read that in Revelation 20 also, where it talks about how the devil shall be cast down for 1,000 years, and after the 1,000 years he shall be loose for a little season. Going into how these Edomites were going to be ruling, but only for a little season, a little moment. Because ultimately Yahushua is going to come back and destroy all this. Keep reading.
And through his policy also he shall craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, and he shall be broken without hand.
Right, that's the same thing. Right? It says that through his policy he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. When you look at how America is set up, and the wickedness, it's all through laws and legislations. They write something on a piece of paper, and all of a sudden, now it's law. Even though they made it up and it could be the craziest thing, that's exactly what they did to our people when they came over here.
How they obtained this.
Yeah. It literally said that they shall destroy the mighty and the whole people. Right, the last verse. So, this is the prophecy. We're living in the time that fits this prophecy. And it says that through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. Right? Because it always starts with that. That's one thing about these devils, is that they're not going to come, showing you that they're going to harm you. If someone's trying to deceive you, the whole point of deceive is to, pretty much lie to you. What does deceive mean? Search up the definition. Yeah. Because they're not going to tell you what they actually want to do if they got nefarious, intentions. And that's why they always talk about how, what's the word? This whole thing in 2020, they brought it as peace.
Peace and prosperity.
Yeah.
Deceive. Says to cause to believe something that is not true, typically in order to gain some personal advantage.
Right. And a perfect example of that, like I was saying, was 2020. Right. In 2020, they came talking about the jump shot, and how, if you don't take it, you're a criminal. Right. If you don't take it, all these people are gonna die because you don't take it.
They'll be blaming you if you don't take it. You won't be like. I remember when my family went over to get their shot. The lady asked me if I was gonna get it, and I said no.
Yeah.
She's like, she looked at me like crazy, and she said, I forgot what exactly she said, but she started blaming me. She said if everybody in my family gets sick, it's gonna be my fault.
Yeah. So 2020 they really came hard, with that fear, putting fear in people and saying that, oh no, you gotta take this because it's gonna help people, peace. But when you look at what that thing actually did, what it ultimately did is that I was actually watching a video about it today. Pretty much what it does is that it makes your body um, produce what is called spike proteins. And what spike proteins do essentially is like it's like hardcore inflammation in your body. Now, there's a reason why you're supposed to have inflammation in your body, right? There's a very specific reason. It's to build back again. A little injury to build back again. But all that has like a specific time. It's for a little time it has. But what they put inside all these people that took it pretty much makes it so that spike protein that you have, it doesn't now just execute for a little time. No, forever for the rest of their lives, now it's pushing out inflammation. And that's the craziest part is that these people that took it, they're now all chronically inflamed. And that's where you get all types of diseases. All diseases start with inflammation. So that's why you had all these people, suddenly dropping dead, having heart attacks. The embalmers, which the embalmers are the people that pretty much open up dead people to see what's inside of them, see what was wrong with them. They found that all these embalmers were talking about how all these people, all of a sudden have these white blood clots.
Oh yeah, that shit looks gnarly.
Yeah, they had all these long white blood clots in their arteries, and that we haven't seen this before in 2020. The only common denominator was that jump shot, and ultimately what was happening is that that spike protein was making it so their blood cells, just inflamed, all clumped together, and just pretty much just died. Literally just died is the easiest way to put it without getting too scientific. But the whole point, they came talking peace, and that 2020 ultimately brought death. It brought destruction.
That was straight deceiving.
Yeah, and that same thing they did, that same game plan, ultimately is gonna happen again. You had this guy, Bill Gates, talk about how, what happened in 2020, that was nothing. Right, the next one's gonna really get their attention. That's
Yeah,
literally a
he
video
was
of him
saying
saying
that like, basically telling it to your face. Now, like, we're gonna bring it real. The next week, we bring it.
Yeah, and they're actually gonna bring it is the funny part, right? Because it's like it's crazy that now we know this and we understand how it works. Because the elites, they got all these people in a trick bag. They really deceive the people to the next level. Because what they've done is they brought the 2020 and people caught on to what was happening. So now the people think, oh no, the next one that comes is gonna be a fake. All that shit did nothing. It didn't kill nobody. The vaccine or not. Can't even say that word without my YouTube getting clipped, bro. But the jump shot did nothing. So all these people are in the mentality of, nah, it's not gonna do nothing. But the next one that comes, they're gonna hit them with the flip. It's really gonna actually kill people.
Fake out.
Yeah, it's like a fake out. And that's when, that hardcore persecution is gonna come, right? Because the government is gonna label all these people that are saying that the disease does nothing as conspiracy theorists. And the fact that, these conspiracy theorists are gonna be going so hard and believe it. The fact that these conspiracy theorists are gonna believe it so hard to their core and push out that the disease is doing nothing and it actually does, they're gonna label that, oh no, now nobody can come against the mainstream narrative because medical disinformation is dangerous. Right? Look at all these people talking about doing nothing. You spreading that idea, these people are not getting the jump shot, and more people are dying because of you.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to slap you with some fucking charges too.
Yeah.
For misinformation.
But this time they're actually gonna be right because it is gonna be misinformation. But ultimately, that's a whole downstream effect to leading to silencing the word, right? Because that's what we ultimately want to do is silence the word. It says, get that in Amos chapter 8, verse 11.
Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but a hearing the words of the Lord.
Right, so there's going to be a time where We ain't gonna be out here doing what we do every single week. Right? You're not gonna be able to find easy breakdowns of Revelation or Isaiah or Jeremiah. All that is not gonna be readily accessible as it is right now. Right? Because right now you can go on YouTube, search up Jeremiah chapter 16, 14 breakdown. And there'll be some brother on there breaking down about how the Lord's going to come to save the Israelites out of the land of the north and out of all the places where we've been scattered. And we're connecting that to a miracle, you know. But in that day, you're not going to be able to find that explanation. People are going to be looking for how to explain the mark of the beast, right? They're going to know it's the chip, but in order to really believe that, you got to be able to know how to explain it, right?
What? They're gonna first think about the prophets around the street, but the prophets ain't gonna be on the corner. And then how you said they probably gonna be trying to look up stuff on the internet, but most likely they probably gonna take everything down for the fact that they don't want you knowing that stuff.
Yeah, and they can easily take down all the videos because YouTube already has all their AI algorithms, clocking, who's who. Literally, if I say one word on my YouTube channel, and I say what happened in 2020, my video will get taken down. I'll get not a copyright strike, I'll get a medical disinformation strike. And all of a sudden, my video's down. I spent 30 minutes out here, bringing it out, and they just take it down for no reason.
They got their AIs putting OT, bro.
And it's funny because one of my videos got taken down, and I appealed it, and they put it back up. And then they took down the same video for another reason. So that means that they're really like going over that shit.
Cracking down on that shit.
Yeah. So the point, the famine of the word, that's what ultimately is going to lead to why we're seeing what was the word? This is why we're seeing, so many
signs.
Not signs.
Revelation.
No, this is why we're seeing so many, attacks coming. Here it is, this guy, Vocab. When you look at what Vocab is doing, Vocab's whole job is to, slander or paint a negative image on the Israelites. Hey, I remember, if you search my channel, he's been talking about the Israelites for 15 years, bro. Non-stop. He doesn't talk about nothing else. He doesn't talk about how the, Jewish are out here doing all types of wickedness. He doesn't talk about how the Roman Catholics touching little boys. No, he only talks about the Israelites. Because his whole job is to build that narrative. Build that narrative that, we're, the T word. You can't say that word also because they'll probably clip it up.
The T word?
Imagine if I say that word, the T word, and they clip that up in the future. Oh, see what these guys said? They're literally going to be doing that, clipping videos.
Yeah, they're going to be, it's like how they do it. They already do that shit now with interviews and shit. Like, they make them, like, seem out of context. Like, you're saying something you're really not saying.
So imagine when, this word is already going out. It's tickling all these Christians hardcore. That was prophecy. Yahweh Shai said that was going to happen. He said that, hey, this word shall go out to the ends of the earth, and then shall the end come. And how is that happening? Right? The way that is happening is by the internet. If you actually look at the internet and what it was made for, it was made so that the word could go out. Because if you think about it, how could that prophecy be fulfilled if there's no internet? That everybody hears the word. It would be impossible. It would take literally impossible for me to go to some random village in Rwanda. Some random place. But through the internet, now everybody can see it. It actually talks about the internet in Psalms 19. Get that. Let me use the bathroom real quick. Hold up. Read that. You know how to break that down?
Psalms 19.
Yeah. Or read, go into Ezekiel 33. Read Ezekiel 30. Ezekiel. Chapter 3. That's what it's correctly.
33 or chapter 11?
Ezekiel 3 and 25 to 27. Let's break that down. Read the Bible first.
Ezekiel 3 and 5. For thou art not sent to a people for a strange speech and a hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou cannot understand. Surely he has sent thee to them that would have hearkened unto thee. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Right, so what I'm getting out of this is this word isn't meant for people everywhere, right? No, it's close. Let me read that again. For thou art not sent to a people of strange speech and of hard language, but to the house of Israel. See, this message isn't just being sent to everybody. It's not just for everybody to understand this. Not to many people of a strange speech and a hard language, whose words thou cannot understand. Surely I have sent thee to them; they would have hearkened unto thee, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and their forehead strong against their forehead. See, our people, they're very stiff-necked. That's what we were called in Deuteronomy. We're stiff-necked people. We can be told something and shown something so many times, but it'll get to the point where even if we do understand it, it'll be of a pride thing where we just won't care, and we'll even double down onto our own thinkings. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Behold, I made thy face strong against their faces, and their forehead strong against their foreheads. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I speak unto thee receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears. Right? So these things we're being told, we have to really receive them and know why we're understand why we're hearing these with our ears and with our heart. And go get thee to them of the captivity unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them and tell them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, where they will hear, where they will forbear. Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice of great rushing, saying, Blessed be the glory of the Lord from his place. I heard also the noise of the wings of a living creature that touch one another, and the noise of the wheels over against them, and the noise of a great rushing. So the Spirit lifted me up and took me away, and I went in bitterness in the heat of the Spirit. But the hand of the Lord was strong upon me. Then I came to them at the captivity of Tel Aviv, and dwelt by the rivers of Chebar, and I sat where they sat, and remained there astonished among them 7 days. And it came to pass at the end of the 7 days that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, I had made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the words of my mouth, and give them warning. Then I say unto the wicked, Thou shalt surely die, and thou shalt givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from the wicked ways, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood shall require at thy hand. Right? So we're here sent to do a job. We're here sent as watchmen to warn the people of this stuff that's going to happen. Basically, what I've been seeing a lot of brothers make videos about, Sakari saying that the head of Sakari talking about we're not prophets of doom, that we're just, I mean, I don't understand at that point. If we're not profiting doom, what are we profiting? Because we're profiting of the Messiah's second coming. and what he's gonna do to save the nation of Israel. And what he's doing is what he's gonna do is destroy the other nations. And if that ain't doom, I don't know what doom is. And so, let me read that again. Son, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the words out of my mouth and give them warning from me. See, there you go. Give them warning from me. So I would be a warning is like a flag. We're warning people of something to come. You don't warn somebody of good news. You warn somebody of bad news. Then I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked ways. To save his life, the wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. See, if we don't warn anybody, and they hear, if we don't warn anybody, then their blood is on our hand. But if we warn them, and the wicked man says wicked, then his blood is on his own hand, because we already told him what was going to happen, and he didn't listen. Again, when a righteous man doeth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die. Because thou hast not given him warning, he shall die in his sin, and his righteous which he had done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thy hand. There you go, it will be on your hand. The blood will be on your hand if you don't warn him. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man, the righteous sin not, and he does not sin, he shall surely live because he is warned. Also, thou hast delivered thy soul. There you go. Basically, what I was saying. So, if you do warn and you give him heed and advance, and he stops the sin and he repents and saves himself, then you've done what you were meant to do. You gave him the warning. And the hand of the Lord was there upon me, and he said unto me, Arise, go forth unto the plain, and I will talk with thee. Then I arose and went forth the plain, and behold, the glory of the Lord stood there, a glory which I saw by the river of Chebar, and I fell on my face. Then the Spirit entered me unto me, and set me upon my feet, and spake with me, and I said unto me, Go shut thyself within thy house. But thou, O son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee, and shall bind thee with them, and thou shalt not go among them. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, and thou shalt be dumb, and thou shalt not be to them a reproof, for they are a rebellious house. These people, which is our people, ultimately, they're a rebellious house. That's why we've always been put these curses upon us, and that's why to this day we are a cursed people. So Lucky, bear with me. I'm trying to find that verse in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, Now all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake. He's giving us warning here that if we aren't going to follow his rules and we aren't going to go about his teaching and his word, then he's going to bring all these curses upon us as a people. Curses shall be in the city, and curses shall be in the field. Curses shall be thy basket and thy store. Curses shall be the fruit of thy body and for thy land, the increase of kin and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest, and cursed shall be when thou goest. See, everything we're gonna do is gonna be a curse. Right now, currently, us as a nation, we're the bottom. We're the bottom of the nations. We have all these nicknames and bywords for us, which was also said was gonna happen to us. And ultimately, we're treated like the scum of society. While we have Esau, Edom out here ruling on top of us, which it should be the other way around. But as the brother said earlier, the devil was set on us for a short season, and that is a short season we're living in right now. The Lord shall 28 and 20. The Lord shall send up the cursing vexation and rebuke, and all that thou settlest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doing, whereby thou hast forsaken him. So because we have forsaken him, he is rebuking us. And don't tell me I can keep going on and on, but I got some more here. 28 and 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Which, if you look at our people now, that's what we are. We have madness and astonishment. We're stiff-necked. We don't listen to what anybody else says.
Oh yeah.
How's it going? We tell our people that this is the truth, and again they like it, but until they hear that the white people won't be saved, then they angry.
I went to every single bathroom. There's no bathrooms. That's crazy.
Stores?
Like they're either like full or
So you
none.
just went to alley?
I haven't gone.
This guy.
When I went to go in the alley,
Have a key.
somebody pulled up.
Why don't you have a key? They got it back. I got John 14 and I'll start at 14 and 1 here. Just touching back on the topic earlier, we were talking about how we have all these people worshiping left-hand sides. We got this here locally, our taco joint. Ultimately, our people love worshiping Saint Juditas, but they're really going off because imagine if they were doing it the opposite. They're worshiping the right-hand side. John 14 and 1. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe in me also. In my Father's houses are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you. So because we have all these people selling out, the reason they're selling out is because they want the things of this world. They're worldly people. And again, it's Satan's to offer, as we read in Matthew 4. Satan can't offer you all this stuff because it is his to offer. But it blows my mind to think that people would rather want these worldly things here than something that could be so much more. In my Father's house are so many mansions. If they were not so, I would have told you I go to prepare a place for you. So these are things that are out of our imaginations. You know, we look up now to the sky and see these we see stars, we see galaxies, we see everything, which ultimately is Yahweh's doing. He's the architect. He has all these things for us. He has these mansions, plenty of rooms. If ye had known me, ye have known my Father also, and from henceforth ye have known him and have seen him. So if we do right by him, if we follow Yahweh Shai, then we will ultimately get to the Father. Because only through Yahweh Shai can we go to the Father. And the Father has many things for us. You know, He wants us to prosper as a people. We are His chosen people. So instead of selling out here, getting all these worldly things, imagine what the right hand side has to offer. It has so much more to offer, things we can't even imagine. I can imagine all the things I can obtain here in this world. You know, I don't have them, but I can imagine what $1,000,000 can get me. You know, a beach house, a Corvette, a Lamborghini. You know, my mind could think of a million things that I could receive here on this world. But when it comes to other things, when it comes to the rest of these things, the Lord's things, I mean, I can only imagine. It could be things in my wildest dreams. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that though, because ultimately, we know that you're going off by doing all this left hand stuff. And if you tell someone to worship Yahweh, they're gonna be like, why would like how the Bible was saying, or how it said in Thessalonians, I believe, why would they go and do that when they can get all these worldly things right now? Because they don't know if they're gonna get all this other stuff. They just don't have faith. But ultimately, this is just for us. This truth is just for us. That was a little weird. And it makes sense that people are not going to understand this stuff. Here I got Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel has not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So you see, we have all our people in these churches looking for some sort of truth, but they just can't find it because it's ultimately not meant for them.
Keep going.
As it is written, Yahweh has given them a spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. So if they don't get it, then it's simply because the Lord's not allowing them to get it. And it just isn't their time, or it's just not for them.
Yeah, going into 2/3, the wicked. And I remember I found it crazy that when you look at 2/3, the Lord made it so perfect that that He tied it to that number 666, showing you that 2/3 in decimal form is 6.666 repeating.
You were telling me that the other day. I forgot about that. That's pretty crazy.
Showing you that hey, they are the wicked. And even like John 666, get that straight. That's also like a link. John 666.
John 6:66. From that time, many of
Read the last one. The last two verses.
the last two.
Yeah.
So 17:71.
No, before that.
Oh, before that. John 6:64. But there are some of you that believe not. For Yahweh Shai knew from the beginning who they were that believeth not, and who should betray him. He said, therefore said unto Therefore said I unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father. For that time many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him.
Right. That's the point. Is that Yahweh told them that the only way to the Father is through me, and like the only way to get it is pretty much the Father gives it to you. And these people had a problem with that. And it says that ever since they heard that, they departed from him. They stopped believing.
Why would they have a problem with that though?
I don't know. But that right there is like an example of a 2/3. 2/3 could be an Israelite that believes and then just falls off. That's an example. Or it could be an Israelite that never knows, or an Israelite that just scoffs.
And it's actually crazy because I've been seeing like a lot of videos about supposed the people they were Israelites, and they're always They always title their videos "Why I Stopped Being a Hebrew Israelite."
Yeah.
Because it's funny. Because first of all, you can't stop being a Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah.
That's who you are. That's your nationality. But they ultimately revert back to Christianity most of them.
Yeah, because Christianity lets them do whatever they want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. They want to
Yeah.
just be comfortable.
That's the way our people are. Like the first scripture we started with, was a perfect example. The Israelites said, like, nah, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna do my own way.
Yeah.
But John 6:66, that's also another 666. The wicked, fleeing, ultimately licking the 2/3, and that number is specifically tied to these Edomites, the wicked. And the thing about it is that they can't run away from the number. A perfect example of that, before showing you that that number is upon them. A perfect example was the last solar eclipse that happened. When you look at the solar eclipse,
Yeah. I remember that shit.
there's a solar eclipse last year, and 6 years before that, there's another solar eclipse. Now, when you look at the trajectory, they both one passed over America and the other one passed over America, and he created an X on America.
Yeah.
That was the Lord showing the sign like
That shit ain't no fucking coincidence. It literally shows America fucking crossed out.
yeah. And that's a sign showing you that hey, the Lord's going to cross this place out. Now the other point, no, that was already one sign. Another sign is that when you do the calculation of the amount of time from both the solar eclipses, it follows